Believe it or not, you are looking at a super rare and special Camaro. We've basically created our own barn find. And on this episode, we bring this car into the shop.
I don't think either of us really knows what's even in here.
And tell you why it's such a big deal. And try our best to survive the DMV by any means necessary. We are going to put an engine in a 67 Camaro in the DMV parking lot.
There's something new in the shop.
Okay. Is it something that we...
No.
You know what? I'm just not gonna... I want to actually be surprised.
No.
I want to be surprised.
Okay.
I want to be surprised.
All right.
Oh, it's the pace car.
It's the pace car.
It is something we already own.
So for those of you that don't know, this pile right here is a 1967 Camaro pace car. So one of 103 left that are on the registry. This one's on the registry too. And less than 10 are big blocks, so that we know of.
Chevrolet was chosen to pace the Indianapolis 500 in 1967, and they used their just introduced Camaro model. Now, this car was not used in the Indianapolis 500, but was one of the very rare vehicles that went out to dealerships. On this episode, we're gonna unload all this junk parts out of the pace car and show you guys what this car is all about and why we're so excited about it.
It's rougher than I remember. Like, I'm still really excited, but yeah, it's not gonna be like a nice car. It's just gonna be a pace car that's together. That's kind of our first plan for this thing.
I guess our game plan is to unload everything out of the pace car, take inventory, and figure out what we have.
I think it was 2021, maybe January. My friend calls me and says, "Hey, this guy's moving this car around, and he really wants to get rid of it." And oh yeah, it's a convertible. And I'm like, oh, 68 convertible tub. I'm like, still kind of like not that into it. But you know, Dustin was very persistent. He's like, dude, we gotta at least look at it. So lo and behold, as we're like walking up to it, we can see that it's a 4-speed car. And it has a big block heater box just laying in it. So we're like, oh, it's a big block 4-speed car. So before I even looked at the trim tag, I offered the guy money for it, and he accepted. And then we both kind of looked at it, and we were just excited to get a big block 4-speed Camaro convertible. And then on the way home, we were in separate vehicles. At the end of the trim tag, it says L181A. And we called each other, I think at the same time. We're like, oh my God, it's a pace car. It was like we had that realization almost at the same time, but in separate vehicles, which I think is I think is the most interesting part of the acquiring it. We went back that afternoon with the Suburban and the trailer and got it.
And it wasn't easy to get. This car had been sitting in a junkyard since at least the early 70s with no suspension, no way to roll the car. But it was all worth it because this is a very rare muscle car. Brito and I basically created a barn find with our pace car. And for all you Camaro nerds out there, really look close and see how many rare original parts you're gonna see us unload. We've spent years, we've spent tens and tens of swap meets looking for all these rare parts, barns, all that kind of stuff, and it all came to this pace car. I mean, look at this stuff. Brito and I, a couple years ago, along with Jose, we bought like 4 cars from a guy, and he had tons of new old stock parts that we bought separately. I mean, we got trim, we have a cowl, there's grill trim in here. I mean, look at that. Like, there's all kinds of good new old stock stuff. Again, we've neglected the pace car, but we've also cared about it too.
Oh, whoa. Dude, that's pretty gross.
Oh God, that's nasty.
We have to.
Okay, at this point we gotta.
We have to vacuum that up.
That's disgusting.
That can't just get thrown around.
This is like big block bracket, 12-bolt cover. It was really fun to like rediscover parts that we bought years ago. Now that everything's all cleaned out and kinda sorta organized-ish, it's time to take the Camaro on another special mission.
The pace car is on the trailer and we're about to go to the DMV and we're gonna see how good your tax dollars are.
If they're gonna be able to notice that this is a fake small block Chevy, or if I'm really strong.
Or if they just don't care.
We've been waiting over probably 5 years to get this thing VIN verified, and hopefully it's gonna happen today. Here's what we're gonna do, you guys. We are going to put an engine in a 67 Camaro in the DMV parking lot.
For whatever reason, California wants you to have an engine in the vehicle to get the VIN verified.
Here we go. Here we go. Yep, all right. Now, we must position the jack stand.
There you go. That's gonna work, kind of, maybe. A little bit further back and it'll clip over it. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
This is so fake. This is the fakest looking engine
looks
I've
like an
ever seen.
That
Yeah,
looks like an engine.
to a child.
Well, close enough, right? Okay, do you think that this is gonna work?
Okay, look, here's the deal. It's hot as These guys don't care about their jobs.
And look, verifications is on the right side, driving test is on the left side, which is on the sunny side. So, he's gonna be standing in the sun. He's gonna be maybe a little bit irritated. We may have a chance here.
What are you doing today? VIN verification card?
Yes, sir.
That's the policy to get up on there and read the
I
mileage.
know, I've heard. Sometimes you guys have done it for me and sometimes you haven't.
Pat will do it. Pat's on the way in. If you want to wait for him, you can.
Well, I can show you the VIN is easier to read while it's on. Otherwise, you got to like bend down. Right now, it's right at like perfect, like this level.
Yeah, what about the mileage?
Well, mileage. Let me just show you.
Mileage 7264.
So that went great. The guy was cool. I've had good experiences at the DMV and I've had bad experiences at the DMV, but this was definitely a good one. We got it done. It's like 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'm sure this morning me and Dustin thought we'd be done by like noon, but this is...
I actually did, no joke.
You did?
Yeah, like, or the afternoon.
Yeah, it never goes like that, guys. It's always a lot harder than you think. You know, we had to find parts and anyway, it worked out. We got this cool block. I guess it fooled the guy, or he never really looked.
Just like Brito said, that was the easiest time I've ever had at the DMV. One of the things that I really loved is that I shotgun blasted, thanks to Brito, he remembered, the gauges into this car, okay? These gauges were purchased at a swap meet. They were not with the pace car originally. These aren't even its original gauges or its original mileage. There's not even a gauge lens on there. But you know what? It's a good thing they were in there today, because now the pace car is officially been verified.
You will be seeing a lot more of this 1967 Camaro pace car on driveway finds, but unfortunately, a lot more projects have gotten in the way that we're really excited about. Stay tuned.